Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NinjaTrader Ecosystem webinar room. Before we get started, I would like to take a moment to test for picture and sound. So if you can hear my voice and see the projection in the room, please type a Y. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Gratitude, Jeremiah, Kim, everybody. Thank you for confirming that I am coming in loud and clear. My name is Juanita Archuleta, and I work for the NinjaTrader Ecosystem here in our Denver office. We have a very special event for you today with Steve Tremper of Tremper.com. I'm going to place a quick poll in the room if I could get everybody to fill that out while I go over a few items. While you fill that out, I would like to mention it's important to understand that there are substantial risks in trading commodity futures, contracts, and Forex. You should carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you and will depend on your specific circumstances and financial resources. It is possible to lose all funds deposited with your broker and could even incur losses beyond this amount. Please inquire at the following link for a full copy of the CFTC risk disclosure, or if you have any additional questions regarding that CFTC risk disclosure. This presentation is presented by NinjaTrader LLC, which is the technology company responsible for developing and supporting the NinjaTrader trading software. Any brokerage-related questions should be sent directly to our brokerage team using the following information. It includes their phone number as well as their email address. Thank you, everyone, for filling out that poll. I'm going to go ahead and share the poll results with everyone. The question was, what type of tools or services have you used from NinjaTrader Ecosystem? 50% of you have used indicators or strategies. 14% have used our educational portion. 1% has used the programming services, and 35% has not yet used anything with the ecosystem. With new tools added nearly every day, NinjaTrader Ecosystem is home to hundreds of apps and services. You can quickly and easily find tools or services you're looking for with a simple keyword search. You'll also find information about upcoming webinars and an on-demand video archive to view these recordings. And if you are also active on social media, to get up-to-date information on the NinjaTrader ecosystem, we definitely would recommend you follow us on Facebook and Twitter. NinjaTrader is always free for advanced charting, strategy backtesting, and trade simulation. To ensure you are on the latest version of NinjaTrader and to pick up a free live data trial, please use the following link. And if you are interested in leasing or purchasing NinjaTrader, please use the following link. And if you are just getting started with NinjaTrader, we offer free live training on a daily basis. You can view a schedule of our upcoming webinars using the following link. We are very excited for this unique event in which Steve will go over discovering using the discipline manager from Tremper.com. Thank you again for everybody's attendance. And without further ado, it's my pleasure to welcome to the NinjaTrader Ecosystem Room, Steve. Go ahead and take it away, Steve. Hey, Steve, you are muted, so you'll have to unmute yourself.
I'm here. I'm just trying to find my screen share again. I don't know if that's it, but are you there now?
Yes, we're able to see the PowerPoint.
Okay, great. All right. Well, you've already done the sound check, so I'm assuming everybody can hear me in the transfer. I'd like to say hello and thank you again, Juanita, for all your help, and NinjaTrader for this opportunity to introduce the Discipline Manager. My hope and intent is that it will help other traders overcome the same struggles that I've had and still have. The PowerPoint, there we go. I know you've already gone through the disclosures, so I'm not going to bore you with that information again, but it's part of my slide presentation. So a little bit about me. Actually, I've been in the fire service for 40 plus years, and I just retired last year. And I started learning with futures on my off days about 6 years ago after failing with options and Forex and the like. I've never really worked with any hedge fund or on the floor or in the pits or any of that business. And I wish I had. Even to be a runner and run and get coffee would have been fun. But I don't really have the experience that a lot of people have or have had that other presenters that I've seen on here do. but I have School of Hard Knocks, and now I only trade futures, but by no means do I want to come across as a trading expert. And I still struggle with the psychology side of things, the emotions, and when it comes to money management, that's my biggest one. The fear of loss, and that's how the Discipline Manager came to fruition. Juanita, that's a little bit about me, but can you put up that poll so I can kind of see where we're at with other traders? I've got a poll there, just curious to see how long you've been trading. Under a year, 2 to 5 years, 5 to 10, or 10 plus. And I can assume if you're experienced with 10 years plus, you're probably not even in this room. And I'm only assuming that it's going to be relatively newer traders. Just give a minute for people to go through that. Should be able to share the results with that, Juanita. I'm just curious to see what we're dealing with.
Go ahead and wrap up the poll here in just a moment so I can share those results if everybody just wants to get their answers in. It looks like we have about 110 people who have responded out of 146. So if you'd like to respond, now's the time to get that in.
Yeah, well, 100 people will give us an idea of what we're dealing with, I'm sure. So interesting. So under a year. So then this definitely is going to be for you. I was kind of anticipating 2 to 5 years, but the 10 plus years, 22% of 10 plus years, I guess I'm not alone then with the emotional psychology part of it. So that makes me feel better. All right, well, thank you very much. I'll just turn that off with the click of a button up here. Oh, you did it. Okay, thank you. So when you're trading, let me throw another poll up here. When you're trading, how do you feel? Are you comfortable with your trades and the strategies that you use? Do you feel unease, or a little bit back and forth between the two, depending on the time of day or the market or the whatever it is that you're feeling at that time? I'm just curious to see, because I keep going back with psychology, and I truly believe that is one of the biggest things that you deal with when it comes with trading. And trading sim is totally different than trading real money. You could learn the procedures and clicks and buttons from the NinjaTrader platform. That's all great in sim. And you could even trade and remove your stops or move your stops. But yeah. All right. Well, I'm in that batch there, 61% back and forth. I still in that batch. And there are some people that I know, like, John Novak was my trainer through NextGen, and he totally comfortable. He's been doing it long enough. He just totally puts it in there, and he doesn't have any fear. And I still have issues with that, but and I'm glad to see that I'm not alone. So thanks for sharing your results with that. I appreciate it. So it brings us back to money management, and 90% of traders fail. Now, 80%, and you can Google this yourself, 80% of these just lose outright, 10% break even, and 10% make money consistently. So that's what we're dealing with. And talk about stressful. The psychology and emotional part of it regarding the hope and the greed, fear, the fear of regret is or fear of loss. I'm sorry, fear of loss is my big one. And then the regrets. And just lack of the trading plan contributes to these too. And you can get these, that's where I got it from, Google. I mean, after enough time, you kind of just piecemeal all these together. But I actually researched it because I wanted some numbers, and it was just amazing how what we're dealing with here. And why do they fail? Failure to limit losses and overtrading. That's one I've got. And then I talked about the fear of loss or the fear of missing out, and then waiting for the trade. And I fall into all of those categories. And if I had a poll right here, I'd venture to say that all you are too. A lot has to do with fear. And I go back again to the psychology part of it. Cutting the winner short in fear of giving back the profits, only to see it go and to your target had it been there. Hesitating and pulling the trigger because of fear of loss again. So Again, you would have gotten in, but you didn't, so therefore it hit your target. Of course, now if you would have gotten in, it hit your stop, but we've all been there. Hang on to losing trades because you know it's going to turn, but only after it stops you out. Jumping into unplanned trades. That's the over trading part. Just it moved quickly, and now I'm going to miss it. So you jump in, and you don't want to miss it and leave money on the table. And of course, that's probably not the best trading plan to manage yourself. Anyway, fear is probably the most significant emotion for traders. Many traders struggle with this emotion, and fear can demobilize you from applying your hard-earned technical skills. Significant trading losses often lead to the emotional part of it and the turmoil. And unless you address it, the trader re-experiences these over and over again. And again, I just got this information from just doing a little search and investigation. And so what you need to do is you need to define your edge, whatever that may be, whatever strategy you're working or however you've learned, and define the risk that goes along with that. And if you could accept it, it's like playing poker. If you could accept the ante, then you can continue to trade. And if you feel good about that, then go ahead and make your trade and hopefully make it feel comfortable. But one of the other things that you got to deal with is that, oh, my worst 4-letter word. And I'm sure we all have it and all been there, that 4-letter word. And that's wait. You've got to master the ability to wait because the market doesn't care about you at all. Master your self-control and just sit there until it gets to your spot. And if it doesn't, then you've just got to tell yourself next and just wait for the next one. But again, we go back to wait. John once told me, and I'll just repeat it here, we're not traders, we're waiters. You have to wait for the trade. And it's gotten to the point that here I am. I'm just waiting for the silly trade to finally get in my direction so I can kind of get moving on it. And so that brings, again, we go back to psychology and discipline and waiting for that particular setup. Psychology and discipline rules deal with your losses. And if you get out too quickly, you didn't monopolize on everything that you're set out to be. And holding on to positions too long when you shouldn't have, look, it's going against you, or it's not setting up right, it's taking too long, just let it go. Again, you just got to be able to just bite the bullet. Skipping trades due to fear of loss. Again, we go back to the psychology. And then, of course, over trading. Now, the discipline manager cannot help you with your psychology, but will help you with your discipline that will lead to a healthier psychology. And hopefully that makes sense, because it does to me when I wrote it. And that's a pretty good phrase. So I kind of like it. I'll just do it again. The discipline manager cannot help you with your psychology, but it will help you with your discipline that will lead to a healthier psychology. And it all builds up. And it's just a matter of controlling the losses. Whatever your average winning, and again, you have to keep statistics for all this business, but whatever your average winning day is, you don't want to lose more than that on any bad day. So you've heard the mottos, surrender the fight, but not the battle. So today might not have been your day. Just go away, but don't blow the account and not being able to come back tomorrow. Every day is different. Everybody has a different account size. So using a 1% or sometimes a 2% on a $5,000 account is not the same when you're trading a $5,000 account for micros. I like the micros, and it does help me get over that fear of loss that I've had. Again, the old Warren Buffett the motto is rule number 1, never lose money. And you probably heard this before. Rule number 2 is never forget rule number 1. And I like that, and that's been around for a while. And the 4 choices that you're going to have that you have to control: the big wins, the small losses, and the big losses. And now eliminating the big losses, your psychology will be much more at ease, because again, you'll be able to hold on to it. Just imagine. Well, that's all right. So anyway, stop losses and automatic trade management. A stop loss should be treated similar to an insurance policy. You should never want to be able to use it, but it's good to have in protection. Of course, you have to know which market you're dealing with, and a lot of people will say, I can't have big stops that big, and so they move it up. But again, it's kind of like your insurance policy. Do you want insurance that covers you for little protection? It'll be less. Or do you want to spend a little bit more money and have a lot of protection? Well, in some of these markets, you've got to give it the wiggle room. And especially with the volatile markets that we're dealing with today with elections and whatnot, the volatility there is really high. Now, each market trade has different characteristic, and you are the one that has to, know what those statistics are, and your statistics based on your strategy, and knowing, your stop limits and of course your tolerance to go along with that. And if you can handle that tolerance of a stop, then take the trade, and you should be comfortable. And it comes out, it comes out, and you've already done that. So again, don't move your stop loss once it's adjusted in place. Now, I personally feel it's better to just, if it goes against you, then just get out and reevaluate it, watch it. And if you still feel that it's set up or going to set up, or it's still in the same area, it just needs a little bit more time, get back in. It's not that much. You don't like to do that, but sometimes moving the stop out of the way to give it the wiggle room, and then it goes against you, now you've just lost more. So for the few dollars it takes for commissions, I would just assume get out, suck it up. And then if it does go further against me, well, then I'll just let it go. I just say next. And you don't get caught up in that revenge trading business. You lost a little bit, no big deal, go to the next one. And then we all talked about, the over trading and the revenge trades, impulse trades. And so let's do a poll on this one, Juanita. Let's see where everybody's at in this one. Curious to see where this poll is, because I know I've done them all. So let's see. It's all anonymous, so don't worry about it. No one's going to know who you are. So just go ahead and be honest. You're only kidding yourself if you don't. And let's go ahead. So I'm looking for over traded, you've revenge traded, just impulse traded, or any and all the combination, but probably going to be combination. But if you're more than one over the others, then shoot with that one. I do have a little mixture of all of them, to be honest with you. I've definitely controlled the over trading a little bit better than I have in the past. Revenge trading, I still do a little bit, but impulse trading. So in any event, I'm definitely overcoming those, but it's tough. And so again, hopefully we're going to get into the discipline manager, and so we've all been there. Revenge trading. Oh, wow, that's a little bit of revenge trading. Well, maybe that's just mine. I can't vote because I'm a panelist here, but if I would probably put one in there, so that'd be 2%, I guess. Okay, good to know. So we've all been there. I totally don't feel alone. But here's the thing: you can't give up. You just can't give up. You get there and you get so close. And I go back to the limiting your losses and protecting your account size. When you get there and you blow it all too fast, you're so close, and it takes time. And if anybody ever tells you, oh, you can be rich in 2 weeks, walk away. I was told 20 minutes a day is all you need to do to check your stocks and this, that, and the other. Well, I got sucked in for copious amounts of money, but 20 minutes a day, I mean, come on, I just can't do that. So you just got to keep and stick with it, and don't give up. Don't let the goal go. Just change your strategy a little bit, and eventually you're going to get it. So our equity chart looks like this. It looks like fun. You start, oh, this is kind of hard. Then you get up and you don't know what you're doing, but you made a little money, and then you're like, okay, the market slaps you back down and said, okay, maybe I don't know. And then eventually you stick with it a little bit more, and you finally starting to get it, and you're starting to understand what these bars are starting to mean. And hey, I could do that. And then finally you did it. The only thing is how much time is the missing component here. And some people just have the innate ability to do it in, I guess, weeks or months, but that's not me. So that's where I came up with this, the discipline manager, protecting yourself from you with your personal trading manager. And that's what I needed. I didn't have anybody. I didn't work in a room, and I didn't work at Merrill Lynch or any of those places, or on the floor with people I could talk to. I mean, sure, years ago we had a little Facebook kind of stuff, but that just wasn't it. Nowadays, I guess with Zoom and the whole Corona thing, we're able to do a little bit better with the virtual. But I just didn't have anybody, for the support part of it, and that's where I needed the discipline manager. So that's where that comes in. So let me talk about the settings real quick in your management rules. The discipline manager is designed to allow you to set your own hard daily and weekly drawdown limits with your goals. So you're setting your goals, you're setting your limits. I used to do that with the Excel spreadsheet, but when you're in the heat of the moment, if you're not recording your trades, it doesn't tell you anything. So you have to do it real time. And it's kind of hard to do when you're moving quickly. And if your drawdown limits are hit, well, then you're done for the day, or you're done for the week, depending on which one you hit. Once your daily or weekly goal is hit, you can continue to trade, but never giving more than a set amount that you have with your goals. And that's called the dynamic drawdown. And it's based on your high. And it does the math for you based on your account. And you could have multiple accounts, but whichever account you're dealing with, it's based on that high. And so you hit your goal, and it's only going to let you come back so much based on whatever you have. And once you get there, the warning boxes will be displayed of your if your threshold limits are breached. And here's the settings for this here. It's now, again, it's not an indicator. And a couple of people have they've installed it, and then they go and try to find it under indicators, and it's not there. So it's not an indicator, it's an account setting. So it's going to be found under the new windows. You would just create a new window. That's what it is. It doesn't go on your chart. You could, once you make your settings, you could leave it in the background if you prefer, or you can just turn it off altogether. It's just running in the background. So the very first one is, I just have it called, it's on a sim account, and I called it Discipline Manager. And again, as I mentioned, I do a lot with micros. So let's say your drawdown warning is $350. It's going to give you a timeout. I call it a timeout. But basically this comes from like the circuit breakers, and it'll give you 15 minutes. So basically you've breached $350. You could change all these, but these are just defaults, and I'm thinking about making it everybody be able to set up their own defaults. But as it is right now, this is a default, but you can manually change it. So $350, it's going to give you a warning. I'll show you what that'll look like. And then if you've lost $500 in a day, you're done. It's not letting you lose any more than that. And then on the other side of it, once you hit your goal at $500 here, then, boom, congratulations, you've hit your goal, and you're not going to be able to lose more than 30% of that goal. And if you lose 50% of that goal, then you're done for the day. It just stops you. So you're going to walk out the door with $250, which, do the math on that. I'll take 50 grand a year. And then the weekly is the same concept, just maybe a little bigger, because the weekly is a combination of multiple days. So you're going to get a warning of $700 for the week. And then you're going to get a halt of 1,000 in this default scenario that I'm using. And your goal for the week is 1,500. So just if you hit your goal of 3 of the 5 days, then you've got your $1,500 goal. And again, you'll get a warning at 30% of that. And then 50% of that, you're done for the week, and you won't be able to trade anymore, but at least you'll walk away with a week with $750. Now, the next setting down there is the include unrealized orders. I have that unchecked because, if you're right at the cusp of, hitting a rule, whether it be a warning or a halt or something, and you've got an order on, you put it on, and of course it goes against you. It doesn't hit your stop, but then it goes in your negative, and then it pops you out. So I have that unchecked, but it is available. But I do have closing existing positions. I don't want to leave, if I have multiple contracts on and I breach something, I want to be done with it. I don't want to just leave that one on there, which I could, and hope for that it turns around and unbreaches me, if you will. But I just say, just get out. I breached it, I'm done. And then it will show you your stats. Now the stats are going to be shown on your first trade with the NinjaTrader settings applied. So if you've made trades throughout the day and you have not had Discipline Manager on, then you go ahead and apply some settings on it. It's going to show like this. But then as soon as you hit your first trade, it's going to calculate your account, and it's going to calculate those past trades. And then you're either going to hit your goal, you're not hit your goal, or you're in the middle, or wherever it is you are. And so those will all fill up. And then the alert log and sound if you wanted. In any event, that's the settings part of it. So an example, I think I just kind of went through an example, but assume your drawdown warning is at $350. You close an order and you breach 350. You'll get a trigger the circuit breaker, as I call it, and you'll get a 15-minute timeout, or mindset, as the psychologist likes to call it. And there's your little warning there. So I've just done this on purpose back on December 7th. It looks like I did this. So you hit your halt. and you're timed out till 3:11 and 49 seconds p.m. and you can't trade until then. And if you do, it's just going to take it off. And the same with the halt after a 15-minute timeout. So now you're able to start trading again. And you can continue. And if you meet your, if you go up, well, that's great, no big deal. It just sets at the highest level of your account. But if you go down now $500, now you're done for the day, and at that point you're not going to be allowed to trade, and that's it for the day or the week, depending on which one you hit. And there again, they're same kind of warning, just pops up and says you're halted on the sim account until the next day at midnight, and then it'll reset itself at midnight, or if it's the week, it'll reset itself for the week. So in the settings, we have a reset. Now, there's been a lot of discussion on this as far as even having a reset, allowing the user to override their own rules. And that seems to be the problem. That's the problem I had. It's like, yeah, I can have rules, but if you don't follow them, what's the point? And at the end of this, it was realized that you're the owner. You're the owner of this, your business, and you should be able to make the final decision. So if you do want to reset, it is available for you. That said, if you do opt to reset, you will have to open the discipline manager, navigate to the account in question, press the reset button. I'll show you a picture of that in a minute. And then it'll take an effect at the reset. But you will have to close all your workspace and relaunch Ninja, which takes some time depending on how many things you got going on and all that. Reconnect everything. So that's kind of deterrent in itself too. But again, if you go ahead and do reset it and then come back in and then you reset it again, you're going to have to have bigger numbers. Obviously, it's going to find your account on your next trade, and it's going to say, hey, you're still, just because you or don't reset it for that day. But I mean, again, the whole purpose of it is not to even once they're breached, you're done. That's what it's for. You don't want to override your manager. You have to consider yourself. You are the owner, and the discipline manager is your manager that you've hired. And then you are also the employee. And so the manager is looking over the employee, but you have the right to fire the manager. So again, I recommend contacting your broker and having them place a hard stop on your account if you're worried about the reset part of it. It really doesn't come to be that big of a deal, but I have had a couple of people saying, is there a way to turn it off where I can't even touch it? Lock down my computer. But we're not in that business, and legally, I don't know if we could even stop you from trading if you wanted to. But why would you want to? You have the manager in effect, and so why would you want to disobey it? But your broker can. They're a licensed broker. They're your broker, so you could ask them to put a hard stop on it, as I do. And in order to override that, you have to call your broker. You have to go through the motions. You got to do something in writing saying, change my hard stop, or whatever it is. And by the time you get through all that stuff, hopefully you've had a different whole reset button I said down the bottom. You just have to hit reset and then relaunch. So at this point, so if you have any questions on the reset button specifically, just make note of it, and we'll talk to you at the end on it. But on a happier note, the goals. So now you hit your goal, and you're going to get the little warning that says, congratulations, you've hit your goal. And now your daily drawdown limits now apply for this particular account. And there's two rules of thumbs on that. One, you hit your goal, and so you're done for the day. That's it. Time to start day drinking, or it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Who cares? You're done. The other, which I tend to go with, is I continue to trade, but again, you're never going to give back any more than what it is allowed. In the default, it was 50%. So at least at that point, now you could be a little bit more selective, if you will, and only take the better trades. You're not always trying to climb back and do anything stupid. So you can kind of kick back. That you're going to at least be done with half. Now you don't want to go away with half. You want to go with all of it. Go away with all of it. But you could do that too if you're the want to do rule number one for your drawdown. If it becomes effective, just set your drawdown halt to 0. and it will halt instantly. So if you try to put another trade on after you've hit your goal, it won't let you. It'll just take it right off. Or if you make your drawdown halt to 100%, that halt will basically halt after your balance has realized zero, basically giving away all your $500, but at least you're not negative for the day. So, again, somewhere in the middle, and that's where the 30% warning and the 50% comes into play. And there are some updates I'll tell you about later on that. But, you're in control of your trading business. So, you delegate your rules to your discipline manager, whatever they may be, and allow it to monitor you, so protecting you from you. So as I mentioned, just as the circuit breaker warnings discussed, that it's a 30% after your realized order. Assuming your goal is at 500, the discipline manager will trigger a circuit breaker and require a 15-minute timeout if you breach that. So basically $500, you lose 150. At 350, you're going to be triggered out, and you're going to get the warning that says drawdown warning hit. And the discipline manager, you're stopped for 15 minutes there. So again, another example. I don't want to overdo it, but basically, you have your balance exceeds your initial goal. So now you're in your dynamic drawdown, $500. 250 you're going to walk away with. So as your balance grows, though, if you continue to trade, so now let's say you've realized $1,000 in your account. Well, now you'll get a warning at 700, and now you're going to leave at 500. And let's say your balance goes up to 1,500. Well, then you're going to get your warning at 1050, and so on and so on. At least you're going to walk away with half or whatever percentage that you're dealing with. And then again, you're going to get your halts on that once you've breached that. Now, the new version, as of just like literally last week, over the weekend, the first, we've added a few things. Now, this one here is the settings for the newest version that you'll be downloading. And if you had an older version, then I'd recommend going to the site and downloading this newer version, because this one we've added some things. So for instance, going back to the top, we've talked about warning to halt, but this is new, the daily max trades. So if you're one of those over trader problems and you only want to give yourself 5 trades or 10 trades, whatever it might be, there's your answer. The max losses, you don't want to lose too much. You can put that in there if you want. It defaults to 100. I personally don't use it. It was more of an add-on suggested by other people. And then we talked about your the level ones in your dynamic drawdown. Now this is one that I did want to see, and that is the daily drawdown 1 is your $500 with your 30 and 50%. But then once you've reached goal 2, you want to give yourself a little bit more. It's kind of like when you're dealing with larger charts, bigger stops, so you have to give yourself a little leeway. You don't have to use that. You can keep them the same, be done with it. But once you've, on goal 1, you made your $500, I have mine set for like 90%. So I still have, $500 to play with. But once I hit 1,000, then I'm locked in. I'm not giving any of that back. So again, you have to be the judge of that. Same with the weeklies. You've got the level 1 and level 2 dynamic drawdowns. They could be the same if you want. Everything else is the same. So page 2, it's just a longer, the settings page is kind of gotten long, so you got to scroll down or make it a little longer. But once you hit apply to whatever settings you have in there, if you want to go with the default. Now, don't forget at the top here, you have to select the account that you're dealing with. That's a drop-down window, which I guess I did not show on a slide. We'll just show whatever if you're dealing with multiple accounts. And there it is. So all in all, you look at the settings and you kind of figure them out and go from there. And again, so I'm at the point now where I just wanted to show this because I liked it. This is our personal 2020 graph. Anyway, more internet time, less shaving, sweatpants, etc. So I just had to throw that in there. All right, so getting started. Currently, it's planned to be offered as a subscription using PayPal. You can download it. It's set for 20 days. However, PayPal activation is required at the onset because PayPal then dictates the 20 days. And anytime PayPal makes it very easy. You go in there and you manage your subscriptions. You can cancel anytime. It's no big deal. And if you like what you've got, you just keep going. It's no big deal. And PayPal they're the bank, not me. There are monthly and annual options available, and they could be canceled at any time dealing with your PayPal account. Now, due to the special NinjaTrader ecosystems hospitality, as part of the webinar, we do value your feedback. And as such, the Discipline Manager can be downloaded for free. Yes, I said for free, with no PayPal subscription needed. But there's a catch, and that's right, it's for free for a limited time, not going to be offered forever, but there is a catch. And the catch is no contact information or obligation to download the information. You're still going to get 20-day trials like normal. That just for everybody. But with little or no effort to continue after the 20 days, we ask you to complete some surveys. We need some feedback. We want to improve it, and et cetera. So every 30 days, you'll get a survey, and until we have an ample data set that we've received, and we could take your opinions, suggestions, and comments, and everything else. So until further notice, until we get an ample data set. Now, what is the ample data set? I don't know, but in any event, it's free for right now, and then it'll be time. But we do want some feedback in there. So the only drawback, though, I have with well, I don't have it with the Discipline Manager, but the only drawback with it, the obstacle in that, is we cannot suppress market orders. And I really have to mention this, though, because many people requested it to be used on their bots. The algorithm, things like that. And it's not a chart. It's not an indicator. It goes on your account. So whatever account your bot is on, if your bot it triggers limit orders or has an offset, then it could be used no problem as designed. However, if your bot just triggers at a market order, if you haven't breached your limits, then you're fine. But if your bot were to trigger a market order after you've breached your limits, then your Discipline Manager is going to take over and close the order. And it can cause, commissions, in and out. Boom, you just lost the commission, times the contracts that you have, and the possible slippage to your account if it's a fast-moving market. Now, I know NinjaTrader's working on that. We're monitoring this ticket number that they have. It's called Suppressing Manual Orders, if you're interested in following that, if that's something of interest to you. Hopefully that will be rather put to the forefront, or they do whatever they got to do to give that option available. And then that way, when the bot won't even be allowed to put it on, I guess. I'm not sure programmingly how that's going to work, but that's where we're at right now. So if you have that ability to have the bot do an offset or limit orders, then you're good to go. So other than that, there's my contact information. There's a contact page in Tremper.com, the contact page. Skype is good because I have the Skype traders users group that we have. I know some guys in there, a bunch of guys, and we just talk trade business. You're more than welcome to join. It doesn't cost anything. Just need a Skype address and we'll get you in there, and it's nice to talk to. And every once in a while we've done a meet and greet on Zoom, and I'll do it. Actually, I'm doing one on Friday, doing just a BS session. Email address and phone number, but the phone number is just going to go to voicemail with all these bot political calls and whatnot. It just goes to voicemail, and I'll screen it that way. So without further ado, if you have any questions, Anita, if you want to open up the chat box, which I have here, actually. I think I'm done. Let me, Juanita, you there?
Yeah, you'll have to actually open the chat on your.
Yeah, I got the chat open. I just I guess I haven't been looking at it, and it starts all the way back.
So you have about 10 minutes left in the presentation. So yeah, go ahead and fire away. And just so everybody knows, I did add Steve's Skype as well as his email and the direct contact link for Tremper.com.
Okay, so I'm going through here. I'm just looking through some psychology out here. Some psychology is 80% of the game. Yeah, agreed, 100%. Psychology. We are paid to wait. Good one. There you go. So we're all in agreement here. What is revenge trading? That's when you lose a trade, but it's going to go in your direction, and regardless, and then you just keep doing it again because damn it, it's going to do it. and then you lose, and I know it's going to do, and you do it again, and you get really mad, and then, okay, so just look up revenge trading. I think we've all done it. John Novak is a really good teacher, blah, blah, blah. Okay, he's in there, good plug for him. Tell me, came from me. Does this work for Ninja 7? No. The reason for that is because I was going to do it in 7, but we're at the cusp of so close to going to 8, and so I'm like, why do it on 7 when everything's going to 8? So I'm like, forget it, just go straight to 8. So unfortunately, and I do have 7 too, and I have one computer that's on 7 and one on 8 because I do like 7, but 8's kind of taken over. So do you have to download the Discipline Manager? Yes, you do. There is I have a YouTube video on how to download, and I'm sure somewhere NinjaTrader has videos and how-tos to download it. But basically, if you just go to the web page, there's an installation video. It just goes through it. It's kind of easy. I don't want to bore anybody else with that, but go to my YouTube page and just look up installation, or just go to Discipline Manager. Actually, the link is right on there. Go to Tremper.com, indicators, Discipline Manager, and then download it. And then there's but again, I say it's not in a chart. So you don't want to go to a chart, right click it, go to indicators, and then surf around. You're not going to find it in there. It's under a new window, like the other icon on your control panel. Does it restrict you from placing trades? Well, yes, this does. That's the whole purpose of it. Basically, it's somebody on my shoulder saying, no, no, no. It will cancel your orders. If you put an order on, it will take it right back off again. That's exactly what it does. And that's what I was talking about, market orders. If you think you're going to trick it and be faster than it is, you're going to go ahead and put a market order. You're going to get commissions, and then Discipline Managers a millisecond later is going to say, no, 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 take it right off, and you've just earned the commission and possibly even slippage. So basically, you're trying to create a structure on discipline. That's pretty much what it is, Scott. I need my own personal shrink. It's all about that. Matter of fact, we have the psychology group that's starting next week with a psychologist, and it's all going to be about trading and the demons that we all share. Can you add restrictions based on time as well? Good thought. Right now, it does not, but I don't see why it can't. I certainly could take that suggestions. The other thing that you could use for right now is the clock, but as it stands electronically, it does not do that, but I will put that on a little to-do list because it is pretty nice to have that. It's only available on 8, and the same question there. We got a lot of mixed 8, 7, Ninja 7 and 8 people here, so it looks like. Thanks for putting this on. You're welcome. Oh, you're in the group. Who is this? Todd. Oh. We're doing a Todd, I don't know who you are, but you're in the Skype group, and we're doing a meet and greet or session on doing a Zoom thing on Friday, and just go in here and BS. Info at Tremper, yes. Thanks, Steve. Again, 7 and 8. It's only available in 8. Very good information. What is the price after the free period? Good question. Here we go. So what is the price after the free period? Annual, monthly, including future updates and whatnot. Well, obviously future updates is included, and you get notifications and you just upload it, and that's just part of the normal system, like I think everybody in this world. But how much is a good question. That's what we're kind of battling with, and I don't know. So I would suggest right now, just go ahead and do it and learn it, and then get good enough. And so if it ever does come with the price, you won't need it, and that'll save you a lot of money. So take advantage of it while it's available, right? And if you like it that much and you can't live without it, well, then it'll be worth it. And if you're making all kinds of money, then who cares, right? What is overtrading in numbers? Well, that's up to you. What is overtrade? If you're a scalper, you're going to have a lot more trades than somebody who swing trades. So if you say I only want to take 10 trades a week, for a scalper, look at that and laugh. They do that in an hour. So that's something determined on you. Feel free to join our group, and you can ask other people what they think. when will next gen go to, they are on Windows 8. I use it every day right now. Next gen is on 8. So, check me out or Skype me or whatever. I'll kind of walk you through it. But yeah, I've been using it for months. There are a couple hiccups and some little tricks of the trade, but that's almost over now. I don't want to get involved in that too much, but you could talk to me about that later. Looks good. Download tomorrow. Hey, this free offer might be off tomorrow, so who knows? Let's go to your trades for some psychology of trading. Okay, this is thank you very much for that. I don't know who that is, but I'll definitely look them up. Free period is over. Free period is over. And that's, oh, okay. No, it's not. It's still available. I was just on it today, so it's available. You can go there right now, and you're just go to Tremper.com, go to indicators. It's the first one, Discipline Manager. Click on there. You'll have a little video and instruction of what basically I just said, and then download it. And there's instructions on there. How much does it cost monthly? Again, right now it is free, and we're coming up with the pricing structure. So I would just go ahead and do it quickly. Juanita, just tell me on time. I'm just going through the list here. So if I'm starting to impede the clock, let me know. Revenge trading is Kevin Costner's trying to make his shot over the water hazard, the tin cup. Okay. That answers the question to somebody else further up. Great software. We offer it as a standalone without monthly subscriptions. Probably not. The world has gone to subscriptions. Many years ago, I saw that coming with Microsoft probably 10 years ago. And the funny thing is, my kids the other day just came to me and says, hey, I can't get Netflix on. It says you haven't paid. It's like, they can't even watch TV without a subscription. So that's just the way it is, and that's probably not going to change. But the thing of it is, you don't need it forever. Also, that's the game plan. This is really a tool. Eventually you're going to be overcome it. You're not going to need it. And that's the intent, that you learn. And again, I go back to that phrase that I said before, that it's not going to help your psychology, but it's going to help with your discipline. And once you've got your discipline under order, then your psychology takes over, and you just feel confident in your ability, and you don't need it. So hopefully that answers the question. I have 32 bits and Ninja uses 64-bit. Is there any way I could work around my computer? I'm not a computer dude, but if you go on Tremper.com and you go to referrals, there is a computer dude on there. He's my computer guy. I've had him for 20 plus years. He can answer all those computer questions, and heck, he can even build you a computer like you build mine. Let's see, what's this one? Tried to download it, unable to find the link. Could I put that link right in here, Juanita?
Yeah, I've actually already included it. It's right under Malik Chacon's question, but I'm gonna re-put it in the room again.
Yeah, just go right to the page. Just go to like the Discipline Manager page. It just basically it's Tremper.com / just.
If everybody goes to the most recent comment that I just put in the room, there's the link to Tremper.com, a direct link to contact, and then a direct link to the Discipline Manager. And I'm going to provide the direct download link. It's right above Steve's video. There's a YouTube video on the bottom of his page. Right above it in red, it says download free beta version. And here is that direct link.
There you go. So hopefully that answers your question. Are you consistently profitable now, Steve? Well, that's better. I still struggle. I still have my demons, but I've definitely come a long way. So am I a millionaire yet? No, is to answer your question there, Kennedy. Can you post a download link? It was already done. Link to download, there it's done. More information on the psychology group. Again, Tremper.com, look under trading psychology. We're going to start that next week, actually. It's 7 weeks with the site guy in there. We're going to talk about our demons. And that's, again, where I struggle. I'm one of you guys. I'm not coming across like I've worked with some fancy hedge fund or something. I'm not. I have the same issues you have. Okay, you answered that. Can we put 2 limit order sell? Yes. Again, it's not. Malik, this is your question. You can't. We can't put 2 limit orders, sells, and buys. We can't put 2 limit orders, sells, sell, and buy. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about there, but if you put multiple contracts on it, again, it goes off your account. It's not a strategy. It's just looking at your bottom line. What is your bottom line? You could put on as many you want and lose as, or win, lose, whatever. But once you breach those settings, then you're done. Whatever you put on, then it's coming right off again. It's not going to allow you to do it. Creating a trading discipline is everything. Oh, thank you, Scott. I think you've been there too. Will this work with next gen software? Again, it's not an indicator. Next gen, I use next gen. I've been with them 6 years. And I have their indicators along with other indicators. I get some from different vendors. You can go to the vendor list on NinjaTrader's vendor list on the ecosystem. I believe it's in there somewhere. And there's vendors in there, and that's the first place I go to look for indicators. If you want something, somebody the other day was talking about the order flow, or was it? I think it was the order flow. Yeah, it was late last night. It was the order flow or the footprint. And again, go to the ecosystem. Go to I don't have the link. Maybe Juanita, you could throw that link in there. But they're all those indicators. There's indicators for everything. So yes, it will work with NextGen. I use it. I've been using it for years. So only work for Ninja 8 though. That is true. But NextGen is on Windows 8. I know John teaches in 7, but it does work. Okay, so there's information. You spell my name wrong, so that email won't get to me. It's Tremper, TR. It's right on the screen. I got it right here. TREM, M as in Mary, P as in Peter. Juanita, you spelled it wrong. So that's okay. Thank you for your effort. It just keeps going and going and going. I have a boom/bust cycle. That's a new one. I'm looking for it to keep myself in check. Thank you. Okay, Perry. Boom/bust cycle. I'd like to elaborate on that one a little bit more. I kind of got the gist of it, but never heard it referred to as that. Get in our Skype room. You might have fun in there. Does this work with different brokers? Again, it works with Ninja 8. So when you go into the settings, you have that drop down, and of course you have to be connected. Otherwise, you're not going to. Otherwise, you won't see your account there. So you get connected. Connect to your broker, whoever it is, and then you select your account, and then you got your settings for that account. And if you have multiple accounts, then you have to do it for each account. I do. I have multiple SIM accounts. I have multiple. I have, the Ninja brokers. I have a brokerage account through Ninja, and then I have another one through. But in any event, you have it set up for each account. So each account needs to be set up. But to answer your question, yes, it does work for different brokers. Big wins. They give it on. Perry. Oh, big wins. Oh, yeah. You don't take profit. Okay, Perry, I got you on that one. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I get that all the time. You're going for the big win. And I was talking about this with somebody the other day on Skype. It's like, forget the home runs. Let's go with the singles. Every once in a while you get the home run, but you let it go and just wait for the single. You get more with singles. But I do love those home runs. I hear you. And I've done that. And that's where the runner comes in. If you do multiple contracts, then you take, like today, perfect example. I had 3 on NASDAQ because I like NASDAQ, and boom, one goes off, 2, the other one goes off, and you let the other one go, and it went, and I gave it I think like a 20 tick, or a 20 point stop on it. And I'm like, oh man, if it gets me, then obviously it deserves to get me. And it was the runner, and even that made a bunch, but still it took me out. So I'm like, oh well, I guess it's going the other way. In any event, so I got you, Perry. Okay, so where we at? Multiple brokers in different settings, different accounts. Yes, got it. Singles add up. Singles add up. Yes, Scott, you must be a baseball dude. I'll be up 4 days in a row, then a blowout day. Well, the weekly is going to kick for Perry on that one. Yeah, so you hit 4 days in a row, assuming you hit your goal, and then Friday comes along. And let's say you don't hit your goal. So you're going to take your full loss on that day, or you're going to hit the dynamic drawdown on the week. In this case, I would say the week would probably kick you out. Again, depending on your numbers, I would have to think the week would kick you out prior, other than that, just one day, whichever's lower. So it's all in the math. Again, based on your account size. But if you have had 4 winning days, and even if you did take a daily loss on that Friday, you're done. You at least, so you give back that day. So you give back Thursday basically, but you still got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we can talk further on that. If I don't put stop, what will happen if I lose more money? Well, okay. So the question here is the way I'm reading this: if you don't have a stop loss, but yes, you don't have a stop loss, and you just keep going and going and going and keep losing and losing. If you have that button checked, and I don't have the screen in front of me, but there's that button that says, use the unrealized. If you use unrealized, then that will trigger it. And if you lose more than if your limit is breached, it'll kick you out. If you don't have that checked, it's not going to do anything until you close the order. And then once you close the order, it's going to say, oh, you've breached, you're done. And it won't let you put another one on. So, your stop loss is used for that particular trade, like an insurance policy. As I said earlier, you want to put it far enough away where you don't want to use it. That's the intent, but it's there in case you need it. While the discipline manager is your overall account, not just one given trade per se. But you might want to look at I do know somebody else that doesn't use stop losses. So, but again, I don't have his bank account, so I wouldn't recommend that. But you're the boss. You are the owner of your business. If you have multiple accounts, do I need separate subscription? No, you do not need a subscription. It's the discipline manager. You could have 1 million accounts. Well, I don't know if there's a limit of 1 million, but anyway, I have it right now on, I don't know, I got some sim accounts that I'm doing some testing and some stats on for the stat squad. But you can put as many accounts on as you want. It's going to monitor all of them. Again, it just goes by the account. So you do not need a subscription for each account. Although that's a good idea. Maybe I should do that. What amount maximum trading contract size? That was another thing that was talked about as far as having a max contract size. Ninja already does that, so we opted not to do that. But yes, the thought was to say you set it for, let's say, 4 contracts, and so if you accidentally put 5 on, it's going to kick you out. Ninja already does that, so why reinvent the wheel? If you don't know where that is, get a hold of me or get a hold of Ninja or look it up. It's under your account settings in the control panel. If you go into the account, right click on your account, go into edits. I think it's in there somewhere. I don't have it on my screen right now, and I can't do it by memory, but ask Ninja, they'll walk you through it. Or get a hold of me, Skype group, whatever. Okay, there's my information. Oh, we're getting towards the end. Okay, so if you hit your daily goal, does it automatically close the trade out at 500? No, not at all. The only reason why it's going to know it hit your daily goal is you close the trade out, because it takes unless you have that button that's checked unrealized, which I don't use. But if you don't have that checked, it's only going to know that you hit your goal after you close the trade and does the math. Then you'll get a pop-up that says, hey, you've hit your goal. Now you're dealing with dynamic drawdown from this point forward. So hopefully that answers the question. But no, that's the whole purpose of the dynamic drawdown also, is the fact that unless you have it set for, you don't want to give 0 back. Once you've hit your goal, you're 0% back. Then if you try to put on one more trade, it's going to say, no, you're done. So, but again, I have mine set for, the warning at 30, and I'm able to trade. I'll give back half. I'll play with half. And I'm now with that, we have the new, dynamic drawdowns level 1 and 2. I can make that a little bigger and then have 1 first. So as I grow, so does the account. But you can play with those numbers, but that's up to you. We talked about that on the slide as far as which option you want to go with. If you hit your goal, boom, you're done. Start day drinking. And if you want to continue to trade, then how much are you willing to give back? That again, you're the boss. This is your business. This is you're not going to work. You're going to work in your little cubicle here, and you have to call the shots. And whatever your plan calls for, if you have a plan that says you can continue, my plan says I can continue to trade, and I'll give back half. And I used to do that in Excel, and I still do that in Excel to this day. The only difference is that I don't do it real time as much because it's hard. If it's a slower day, I could do it real time, but so what? I mean, it's not going to stop me from trading. It's just going to tell me I'm there. So that's why I kind of went to the Discipline Manager, because Excel, just other than keeping my journal, wasn't able to tell me when to do it. Okay, I think it's the last one. Does the alert is based on the total P&L, including commission cost? That all depends on how you have Ninja set up. I have mine set up for commissions, because it doesn't do you any bit of good if you're not dealing with commissions, especially if you're doing a lot of trades or scalping or whatever the case is. You can rack up commissions, and heck, you could win gross and lose net. So mine is set up for commissions. If you don't know how to set up that with commissions, lucky for you, I have my YouTube channel that has a video on there that says how to set up commissions or something like that. Anyway, again, you go to your control panel, under accounts, right click, go to edit, and in there it's going to give you a choice of which fee structure you're going to use. You can make your own. You could use the Ninja, depending if you have lifetime or leased agreements, and whatever. Everybody has different commissions, based on whatever it is, however they come up with commissions, I don't know. But you have to set them up. But once they're set up, they're done. They're good to go. So when I get my Ninja, I have it set up to match my account. So when I get my broker account the next morning, I look at the bottom line and I go to Ninja, and if they're off by a penny, I'm that kind of analytical person that is kind of anal with that, and I wanted to say, hey, why am I off a penny? Not the penny that I'm concerned about, is that where's the math wrong? And so that's why I want those two to match. So hopefully that answered the question. So if you do not have commissions established in Ninja, it's then going to go with your gross, and then you're going to get your statement the next day, and it's going to say, oh, there's a lot of money on commissions, but Ninja doesn't know that. And if Ninja doesn't know that, then Dynamic or the Discipline Manager doesn't know that. Okay, total. Great. Thanks. I think I'm done. Juanita, how am I doing?
You're good. We actually are a little over time, but that's perfectly fine. I am just going to get ready to close out the room. For anybody who has additional questions and did not get those questions answered, I am going to throw Steve's contact information in the room just one more time. And we just want to give Steve of Tremper.com a big thank you for a great presentation today. Everyone in attendance here will receive an on-demand recording of today's event. Please keep an eye out for that email. Ninja Trader Ecosystem is pleased to sponsor these weekly events as a value-added service for our clients. If you find value in these events, we hope that you'll attend them on a regular basis. We'd like to remind you that the information provided in this was that of Tremper.com and not of Ninja Traders. All information is for educational purposes and should not be construed as trading advice. Again, we do appreciate the time you spend with us, and we hope to see you in future webinars. Happy trading from Ninja Trader and everyone here at the Ninja Trader Ecosystem. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thanks.